Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Mashup. It is Mashup number 41 this week. And this week, I'm going to talk a little bit about closing percentages. So that's a term that we're supposed to use closing ratios. Generally, the term is of the amount of people that you meet with, how many do you close, right? Pretty simple percentage. You can, just divide the one number into the other, and that's a closing percentage. So just doing some research for an upcoming presentation, as we announced, I think it was yesterday, that I'm going to be speaking at Traffic and Conversion Summit, upcoming next month in San Diego. If you're at all involved in sales and marketing, you should absolutely attend this event, not just to hear me speak, though I hope you show up for my event. But honestly, it's a phenomenal event. In fact, I bought my tickets long before I knew I was going to be speaking there, because regardless, I was attending. So a phenomenal event. But let's talk a little bit about closing percentages. So I was looking at some studies on this subject. Now, HubSpot has some data on this from 8,900 companies across 28 industries. And the average closing percentage across all of these companies is 19%. Now, to break that down just a little bit further, depending on your industry, in the IT services world, that closing ratio is 21%. If for those of my friends in the human resources world, which I have a whole bunch of those, 18% is the average closing percentage. And then my other friends in the marketing and advertising space, a whopping 11% is the average closing percentage. So how do you stack up? Where do you rate on those numbers? Well, the reality is these numbers are terrible, like absolutely horrible. I'm sure you feel at some level the same way. But why do I say that? Why specifically? Well, if you look at some studies that show that 84% of buyers kick off their purchasing process with a referral, 84%. And then other studies show that almost 60% of the decision is made before somebody actually speaks with a salesperson. So in other words, statistically speaking, the vast majority of people have had somebody tell them about your product or your service, and they've done a ton of research on the internet prior to contacting you. So if we look at that information, closing ratios should be nearer to 75 to 80%. So clearly, an average of 19 is terrible. Even if you're at 30 or 40%, I'm going to argue that that is still not a great closing percentage using what we know about buyers. So why the difference? Why do we not see the types of closing percentages that we would like? Well, it really comes down to the fact that because most of us, most companies still use a version of a sales process that has been around for 6 decades and has largely remained unchanged in that time period. Maybe some nuance here and there, but largely the same process. And frankly, what most of us were taught, and I'll admit, even what I taught for years, is just not what appeals to our modern buyer. Modern sales is about a journey. It's about being human and a human speaking to another human to guide them down their purchasing journey. It's not about false rapport. You've probably heard me talk about that. It's not about false rapport, and it's not about uncovering pain points. People know that trick. In fact, if you're in sales, you likely get sold other things, and if somebody does it to you, it probably irritates you. Why would your buyers be any different? They know about these tricks. They know about false rapport. They know all about pain points and a bunch of the other things that we do in a traditional buying process. So it's really about this journey. How do you create that journey so that people feel like it's a seamless transition from when they first get to know you all the way through to when they become raving fans of your business? And we can help you with that. In fact, when we've applied this process, we've seen closing percentages double, if not more, pretty quickly with just a change in the way that you approach your sales process. If you're interested in that, please reach out to us on the link below, and we certainly can help you with that. So that's that for now, and I look forward to speaking with you all next week.